Hello and welcome back to Dr. Debt Free. In today's video, we are going over January's budget update or budget recap for this past month. So we're just going to go over the categories where I was able to have some wins for the month and also the categories where there may be some room for improvement for the month of February and so on. So starting out, I am using my Budget by Paycheck Workbook by the Budget Mom, which I've linked below if you are interested. 10 to 10, my favorite go-to organizational tool for finances. And it's really, really great if you love keeping track of the month to month and you love stats. So I started this month with a starting balance of 0, just because I keep a zero-based budget. And I earned this month an income of $5,542.42 for a total monthly income of $5,542.42. Now, this was over $400 lower than projected, which I'm not surprised with. In Canada here, we had a big surge of cases after Christmas and lots of people were sick and staying home. So many weren't coming into their appointments because you're not allowed to, obviously. So things have fortunately picked up in the clinic since then, but the start of the month, especially those first 2 weeks, were definitely slow. But moving on to our budget, the first category is groceries. And for the month, I budgeted $325. And I spent $215.68. And this was a difference of, I actually spent less than $109.32 less than what I was expecting or budgeting to spend. So that's a little budget win there. When I calculated my percent of income that I spent on groceries, and the way I do this is by dividing what I spent on groceries divided by my incoming income, and then I multiply that by 100, I get 3.8% spent on groceries. So super excited about this. One reason I was able to save so much on groceries this month is because we tried to actually only shop once per week instead of stopping in the store after work for this and grabbing whatever we were craving. So we tried to really plan and spend that way. And then I was also able to spend PC Optimum points and air miles at both Sobeys and Loblaws when we went during the week. So I was able to redeem like $10 or $20, whatever I had available on my rewards cards. Highly recommend PC Optimum. Will always be my favorite rewards program. I love their MasterCard as well. In my opinion, hands down, the best Canadian rewards program that we have. And I actually got an email recently saying that we will be able to not only redeem our rewards points now on food and in grocery stores, but also at the gas pump. So with gas prices surging, that's very exciting. So moving on to gas, I had budgeted $220 for the month of January, and this is another category where I had a monthly win as I only spent $112.70. So this is $107.30 less than what I projected. When I calculate the monthly percent of income that I spent on gas, I get 2% on the dot. And one reason I was able to save on this month is I was given a gas card as a gift for Christmas. So I think I was able to get gas for $50. And then I also wasn't driving around the city too much because we have been on lockdown, haven't really been going out to restaurants or anything. So just been going to work and back, really, keeping it pretty simple. For eating out, if you've watched my low spend or my financial goals video, you'll know that I'm trying to do a low spend year for 2022. So I had budgeted $0. However, we did end up spending $131.17, putting us over by $131.17 over our budget. And we ended up spending 2% of my income this month on eating out. While I'm a little disappointed with this, and this is definitely going to leave us room for improvement for the rest of the months of the year, this is much lower than what we normally would have spent in a month eating out. In December, which is a month where I spend a lot of time eating with family, home cooked meals, we actually spent over $800 on eating out. So while I'm not pleased that we still spent over $100 eating out, it wasn't $800. It's a little loss, but it's definitely something we can improve during future months. For pet, I budgeted $150, and this was to cover mostly the cost of our dog's food. We ended up spending $337.64, putting us over $187.64 in this category, which also took up 6.1% of our budget. Now, the reason we were over in this category is because our dog's annual license fee was due, and that ended up costing us $127. And then we also had to buy him a new leash because he chewed through his other leash. My boyfriend left it in the back seat with him, and it was literally chewed through in a matter of minutes. So we had to get him a new leash as well. I don't foresee this being this much for the month of February, or at least for the next couple of months. So hoping we can reduce this in the next couple months. For OSAP, now this is my government student loan, which I'm currently paying only minimum payments because it is at 0% interest for the next year and a half. So I budgeted $200 and put $200 on the dot. So there's no difference. And the percent of income that I spent towards this is 3.6%. The next category is my professional line of credit, which is the big mama debt that I am trying to conquer little bit by little bit this year. And I had budgeted $1,100 towards this, but I was able to put $738.40 towards this debt, which is $361.60 less than what I had budgeted, but it was still 13.3% of the income that I generated this month. So one of the higher categories that I spent this month. For car debt, this is for my car loan that is currently at a 0% interest because my dad bought out my loan, but I make a minimum payment of $428.03 no matter what. And so because I made that same payment, there wasn't a difference. And when I calculated the percent of income by dividing $428.03 by $5,542.42, I get 7.7%. So one of my other higher percentages up there. For my TFSA, or my tax-free savings account, this is what I contribute to on a bi-weekly basis, $50. And right now, this $50 bi-weekly is going to my mutual funds account. I was able to contribute $100 on the dot. So easy when you just have set up automatic payments going right to your investments, right to your savings, right to debt. So there was no difference there. And when I calculated the percent of income that I spent investing, I spent 1.8%. For taxes, this is probably my number one goal right now as I'm trying to catch up so that I can make a proper payment for my 2021 taxes due at the start of May. My goal for the month was $1,525, and I was able to contribute close to it at $1,410.66. So that was $114.34 less than what I had budgeted, but it was still a contribution of 25.4%. In the month of February, I'm hoping this percentage, month of February, month of March, month of April, I'm hoping this percentage looks more like a 33%. So stay tuned. Hopefully we can do it. For the gym category, I had budgeted $27.08. And this is because at the start of January, the gyms were open. But very quickly after that, here in Ontario, our gyms were shut down until January 31st. So I actually ended up spending nothing on the gym this month. And so I saved $27.08 on the gym. And obviously that was 0% of my income this month. If you watched my Transfer Tuesday videos, you'll know that I was able to actually move this money from my gym category over to one of my tax categories or my debt payoff. So I was pretty excited, had some leftover money there. For my phone bill, I ended up paying $56.50 on the dot, which is always my minimum. So I'm happy I haven't spent over in this category this month. And when I calculated this was 1% of my income that I spent on my cell phone. For utilities, was slightly over this month, over the 101.49 that I had originally budgeted. And we were at $102.60. So that was an extra $1.11, which calculated to be 1.8% of the income spent on utilities. We have been really crushing it with our hydro bill this winter. We have had some really cold nights, but fortunately, because we live in an apartment building, we haven't had to turn on our heat. We're able to stay warm just using the heat of the building, keep our windows shut, dress warm. And yeah, so pretty excited about the savings we have had there. For car insurance, I was able to save a little bit on this month because we ended up spending $281.45, which is a savings of 55 cents. And when I calculated the percent of income that I spend on car insurance, we get 5%. Now, this is something that is changing in the next couple of months as my car insurance is up for its annual renewal. And I think we're going to change companies. And I'm also going to be adding my boyfriend on as a secondary driver to our car. For Manulife, so this is the category that includes my life insurance, disability insurance, critical illness insurance. I budgeted $209.05, and that's exactly what I spent on it. I have been talking to my financial planner, so this is something that's probably going to change in the coming months. But when I calculate the percent of income that I spend on my insurance, we get 3.7%. For license fees, now this includes the fees that I pay on a monthly basis to practice as a chiropractor here in Ontario. There's a couple different associations I have to pay to on a monthly and annual basis. So I paid the budgeted $208.31 to these, and I'm not expecting this number to go up at all, at least until next year. So that will be staying consistent. So $0 change there, and with that number being almost the same as my insurance, that is 3.7%. CE, or continuing education. So this is a category that I can write off for business expenses, as it is basically taking classes to improve my skills as a chiropractor. I budgeted $29 because this is the minimum payment that I have for a course that I'm in, but I actually ended up spending $679.22. So when I calculated this is $650.22 over what I budgeted. And that's because I actually enrolled in 2 more courses this month than expected. And they are 2 courses that will make me more money in the coming year. So it's not just like I took them for fun. They will generate more income for me in the coming year. And I will be working more with pregnant patients. So it's just helping improve my skills in that subject, as well as babies. So checking reflexes, fun things like that. So when I calculated the percent that I spent on continuing education this month, we get 12.2%. So it's a pretty big percentage that went towards continuing education this month. However, I'm excited. I can write it off and it will help increase my income throughout the year. And maybe I'll keep you posted on basically the return I get from these courses as the year goes on. For Costco and pharmacy, we spent $113.52, which was $13.52 more than budgeted. And when we calculated the percent of income spent at Costco, we get 2.0%. For personal, I budgeted 50, but actually spent 0. So we saved $50 in that category. Obviously spent 0% of the income in that category. For Apple and Amazon, I budgeted $50, but spent $92.54. So that was $42.54 above. And what we bought this month from Amazon was actually 2 new water bottles that each cost $30. So I'm not too mad about this purchase. We're trying to better our health. We needed new water bottles. So we really only ended up spending 1.6% this month on Amazon for credit card payments. There is nothing. Fees and interest, I don't know why I budgeted $388.54. It must have just been the money that I had left over. But we didn't spend any money on fees and interest. Ooh. Should probably do this properly here. So I didn't spend any money on fees and interest. So we actually saved $388.54 and spent 0% of the income on fees and interest. For other, we budgeted 50, but actually spent $124.95. So that was $74.95 more than expected, which when we calculate the percent of income is 2.2%. For sinking funds, when I started the month, I had originally budgeted $400, but I spent $0 on sinking funds except for the tax sinking fund this month because I really wanted to focus on catching up on my tax sinking fund, and that will be the focus over the next couple of months. So we ended up saving $400 on the tax sinking fund as well. So that is the monthly budget recap or monthly budget update for January. If we take a look here just to analyze some of the categories that we spent the most money in or that I spent the most money in, we have the line of credit or the money that went towards that debt. Taxes, continuing education are the big mamas this month. And then from a secondary, basis, we have pet, car debt, car insurance. So yeah, nothing too over the top. Obviously, there is some room for improvement in the eating out category. So hoping we can, do better in the month of February. But other than that, I'm not too ashamed with my spending this month. It was a decent start to the year, especially considering the lower income. So I did fill out this obviously, and I'm gonna go back and fill out this yearly spending overview sheet. That way I can stay up to date with this. So all the categories that I just filled out here with what I spent, I'm gonna end up adding in those amounts here as well. That way at the end of the year, you can track what you spend in each category and you can see totals here at the end of the year, as well as the total income generated. So some kind of fun trackers in here. But let me know in the comment section down below, how did your January financial plan or budget go? Did you overspend? Did you save in certain categories? I hope this next month of February goes well for you.